So I pour myself a drink, thinking I'm calling it in for the night, and then ACHARA goes, hey, the new Ghost Stories trailer just dropped. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I can't ignore that. Not gonna lie, a little bit buzzed. So we're looking at Ghost Stories official trailer. It says Janhvi, Kapoor, Sobhita, Dhulipala, and Gulshan, Devaiah, as well as Mrunal, Thakur. Little secret, trade secret of Jaby KOAY. Sometimes he thinks that the title's done, and so he says and between two names, and then he realizes there's one more and. So I go, also with. That's the actual and.
Oh.
So there you go, a little drunk trade secret. So this is the description for mind-bending thrillers from the directors of Lust Stories, Zoya Akhtar, Anurag Kashyap, Deepakar Banerjee, and Karan Johar, starring Janhvi, Kapoor, Sobhita, Dhulipala, Gulshan, Devaiah, and Mrunal Thakur. Got it right that time. Comes out on January 1st.
So, when you're done from all your partying and feeling hungover as hell, you can watch some ghost stories and scare yourself some more.
I decided to put on my scariest shirt for this, and ACHARA
I'm borrowing a scary shirt.
is borrowing a scary sweater
Yes.
from Jaby.
Which is apt as well because it's Christmas Stranger Things, and this is Netflix.
Here we go.
That's right, weddings are scary. Oh God.
I'm so sorry. We're gonna have to start that again. My crop mode is on to fill up the monitor, but you can keep all that. Here we go.
Okay.
Why are those keys on the piano so scary?
Granny?
Granny?
What?
Granny?
Granny? Sorry, वो खटखटाते हुए नहीं सुना. Good night. Just say good night.
किसी थ्रू गुड नाइट कहो मुझे कोई दिखाई नहीं दे रहा.
That's a fast way to kill
Don't do that! Don't do that! Oh God.
हेलो आंटी, मैं समीरा. ममता सिस्टर ने बल्ली पे भेजा है.
पापा, जब मासी के बेबी आएगा, मासी मुझको प्यार नहीं करेगी.
This is all very disturbing.
पापा कहाँ हैं आपके?
खा गए इसके पापा.
Eat him up.
Who? Do what he says. Yeah. Listen to the kid.
दरवाजे पे कोई है. कोई नहीं है दरवाजे पे. कौन है?
Oh.
वो गुजरी नहीं है. सिर्फ मर गई.
Would you know? Ew. That looks really cool.
I don't know. That dude climb. I mean, hold on. Yes, it looks good. I was just fixated on that first moment when he climbs off the broad and goes, "Oh, good night, Grandma. I didn't hear you come in." And she's like, "What?" He goes, "Just say good night."
Yeah.
To who? Like, that's the quickest way to turn a girl from waterfall into sandpaper. Like, it's just like, what is going on here?
Well, yeah, and at that point you're probably going, what the hell did I marry into? We checked out the family, everything seemed fine, he came from a good family, makes lots of money, but he's got a grandma ghost who does not approve of, you know, marital relations, clearly.
Yeah, that's sort of something you gotta clear at the front.
Be like,
by the way,
just so you know, I have a dead grandma. She's sticking around. She's part of the family. If you hear or see some weird stuff, just go with it and be respectful.
Yeah.
And I would say, No, thank you. The wedding's off. Goodbye. Yeah.
Just a little tiny by the by.
He'd be a bachelor for life.
Just a little crumb that got left out, you know? Tiny print on the contract there you gotta look at. My grandmother likes to hang out while I'm doing the sideways polka with my ladies.
Well, isn't that like, you know, that's kind of like a very common fear, I think, because there is this thing of like, have you ever heard girls say crazy stuff like, and when I die, I'm gonna come and I'm gonna watch you with another woman and then I'll haunt you and you'll never be happy. No, you've never heard
Oh, it's
that?
been said to me.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
So it's like that, but with a grandma.
I'm like, you think you're scaring me, but you're turning me on.
Anywho.
You know, speaking of spying, so apparently, I believe it was Apple hired this third-party company to listen to some of the things that Siri listens to in order to help facilitate progression with Siri's understanding of things.
Oh.
And like being able to deal with your responses more effectively and whatnot. And apparently this company, whoever it was, it got leaked that these people were listening to our stuff secretly when they shouldn't have, for all the hoo-ha that Apple puts out there about how much they respect our privacy. And it turns out they were listening to people like doing it.
Oh.
And stuff like that, and it's like, dang, like that's
your job.
It got shut down once the word got out. Apple shut it down real quick, and
Well,
they're like,
yeah.
"Oh, we apologize. You know, we didn't mean it. Psych." And
Just kidding.
but the fact is, they were listening to people like, and like, can you imagine? Like, what if that's like, what if that's you? What if, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're.
Oh, they definitely heard you.
But that's what I'm. Okay, it's just uncomfortable, you know.
It is uncomfortable.
This is why I don't make sounds in bed.
Just in case Siri's listening to you, you're like, good night, Siri. Goodbye. Leave me alone now. Wow. No, okay, let's talk about the trailer for a minute because I thought it looked really cool. And I am someone who gets really scared by horror films, but ghost stories fascinate me. I remember being a kid and sitting in the back of the school bus and we would just swap ghost stories and I was terrified, but I couldn't stop myself from wanting to hear more. There's just something about ghost stories they just hook you in and, you know, you can't leave. That's how I feel.
I have one. This is secondhand though. This was not something that I experienced. It was secondhand.
Was it Jenny?
No.
Okay.
It was from one of my Indonesian friends when I was 17 or so. Her name is Putri Hatharia. And I met her in the gymnastics breakdancing community.
Okay.
This is not a girl I dated. It's a girl I wanted to date.
Okay, there's two classifications here.
So she had a boyfriend and then she broke up with her boyfriend.
But you couldn't get in there in time.
Well, she wanted to date me, but then I like went back with my ex.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, that's not the point. She told me this story that, like, she's only told me the story once, but I still remember it because it was so vivid. So her and her friends were all going out into the mountains because they just wanted to hang out or whatever.
Yeah.
And, you know, have a good time. And what happened was they were like playing in the trees and stuff and they were acting spooky with each other. And then this like white mist came around them. It had a very distinct look to it. It wasn't like mist. It had like
form.
it had a shape to it. And they're like, oh my God. They were convinced it was a ghost, so they like bailed and ran until they found like this top side of a hill where there were train tracks. And so they're just walking along the train tracks, you know, trying to get where they're going.
Right.
And then they see this dude running from the distance, and he's running, flailing like his arms and his legs, all his appendages and his head, he's just flailing as he's running by, and they just like watch him run by, and it's just like this weird thing, like what the hell? And it's like after midnight. Like, why would someone be doing that? It was just this odd thing. Now, in Los Angeles, it's not that weird. But, you know, out in the boonies, it's just an odd thing to find, right?
Right.
And so, anyway, she decides to go home. It's really late, and I forget where she's sleeping. She's sleeping in her room, right? And she sees by the window her mom. Her mom's just at the window at 3 a.m, arbitrarily. And she wakes up, she goes, Mom, what are you doing? Like, why are you there? Oh, I'm sorry. Leading up to this, she kept hearing a clicking sound. and she would wake up and she didn't know what that was, and she'd go back to bed and she'd hear the clicking sound again.
Okay.
And then eventually she saw her mom at the window, and she's like, "Mom, what are you doing?" Because this is like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
She's like, "Mom, what are you doing there?" Her mom turns around, has completely black eyes. And she's like, okay. And she goes back to bed.
No!
Right?
You don't do that. I don't know what you do in that case. Like maybe throw some rice at her?
And so she gets up the next morning and she goes, "Mom, what were you doing at the window?" She goes, "I was not at the window. I was asleep." And so she talks to her dad, and her dad's like, "You experienced some ghostly stuff and you took it home.
You brought it home.
You brought it home. That's what you were hearing, because they wait for you to almost fall asleep, and then they start tapping to mess with you to wake you back up. So what you saw was a ghost. It wasn't your mom." I was like, wow.
That's so scary.
So she's told me that story one time over 10 years ago, and it's still stuck in my brain.
Like, I literally feel like I almost want to vomit hearing that story because it scares me so much. But, like, that's what they say, you know? Like, it's so easy to bring stuff home.
Yeah.
You do not ever invite anything in. Never. Do not.
Sometimes it can't be helped.
Just tell them to leave.
Yeah.
That's why my mom says you scatter rice in there. No, seriously, this is an old Thai trick. You scatter rice in the house, and then you sweep it outwards, and the ghosts will go with it because they want to eat the rice. Right?
But
That's just common sense.
But what if you want your ex-girlfriend to hang out? It's kind of like a pseudo 3-way, but not really.
Oh my god. Ugh, that
Anyway.
was scary.
You guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Let us know what you thought of the ghost stories. Looking forward to it. I
Yeah.
enjoyed Lust Stories. I enjoyed. I'm a little bit disappointed that Radhika Apte is not in this, but that's okay.
Oh, like, I think the cast looks interesting.
No doubt. I'm not taking that away. It's just Radhika Apte is generally part of these ventures.
Yeah.
She should be in here. It's like, why wasn't she
would
included?
She was busy. She's a big star now.
You pay the money.
Yeah,
She should be
you
in here.
get Radhika Apte Netflix.
Yeah.
We want her. But I'm interested in all the different stories. I think they all seem very different, and you've got just like creatures and vampires and just all the ghostly things.
What was kind of interesting and just slightly amusing is that it's like from 4 visionary directors. Zoya Akhtar. I'm like, Zoya Akhtar? She doesn't do ghost stuff. Like,
Well, yeah, none of these people.
well, that's not true.
Who's done ghost stuff?
It's not okay. To be fair, Conrad Kashyap has not done ghost stuff, but he's used to messing with your mind.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I could totally see Anwar Kashyap doing a ghost story, but Karan Johar, like,
Yeah.
these are people like, and I'm excited to see what they're going to bring to the table. I'm excited to see what kind of ghost stories they tell, because you are not typically finding in their repertoire ghost stories. So that makes me very excited to see their, vision.
And one of the things that was actually super scary was the sound, and that sound of like the scratching. That was really messing with me. I almost feel like maybe that's an Anurag Kashyap one. I'm not sure. Like, I'm kind of... It's kind of fun to try and guess which ones were from which directors.
It's so fascinating how when you get emotional,
Yeah.
you enunciate harder.
Do I?
Yeah. When you hear the scratching.
The scratch. The scratch.
When I get emotional, my words just muddled together. Anyway, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Hopefully you enjoyed something from this video. The views on the original upload are not high, which is quite surprising. It's, after an hour, it's got like 10,000 views. So if you're not subscribed to Netflix India, be sure to subscribe to their channel as well so you can get the lowdown on anything new coming out. Anyway, we're excited to share this, and hopefully you guys are excited to hear about it. And do subscribe if you haven't already. Check out other reactions, reviews, short films, vlogs, and interviews. I am Jaby KOAY. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.